The name Philadelphia comes from Latin. Of course, we all know Philadelphia is a city of brotherly love. That's very much a continuation of the Quaker vision that so much influenced Penn, actually inspired Penn, that as a young man, he breaks from the religion that he was raised in, which was the Church of England, makes a life commitment to becoming a Quaker. And we continue to propagate that vision for Philadelphia in continuing the name that Penn gave it, and hopefully living some of those ideals with our neighbors. In Penn's desire for urban planning, he initially called Philadelphia his green country town. And again, he wanted public space and green space in his developing city. Now, in doing so, he had the largest central plot, and then at the 4 different corners, smaller public plots that today we would know as some of the public parks. The center plot ultimately will be where City Hall develops. So in the late 19th century, City Hall was topped with a statue of Penn himself. Admittedly, Quakers, especially of the 18th century, didn't want monuments, edifications, things like that. But in many ways, today we look at Penn looking down on his own colonial city. And I think in many ways it's fitting, because the layout that was done over 300 years ago still is in existence. It's still very clear in the city itself. And as it developed, it in many ways is a continuation of the microcosm that Pennsylvania was at that time.
The building went up in 1987, and quite frankly, it's not that the last thing Philadelphia needed, even prior to the building going up, was a curse, because they weren't very good at winning championships even prior to that.
As a historian, it interests me that there is a resurgence in interest in having Penn on the highest building in the city again. Its legend, its lore, it's part of our history of our city. And the idea that those city planners today recognize that it's a good thing to have William Penn looking down on us.
Well, it was a magical season here. Philadelphia is so starved for any kind of a title that when the chance of winning one begins to crystallize, it galvanizes the whole town. And of course, the World Series against Tampa, if you recall, the Phillies had a 3-1 lead to get to Game 5, and the weather forecast was for the most rain, I think, in any one day. I mean, Noah built an ark the last time it rained that much, but they were determined to try and get this game in. And it just absolutely poured a steady, soaking rain the entire time. They could not get that game in. And, oh, man, the feeling in Philadelphia was so palpably frustrated because, there was a chance to win the World Series there. But the commissioner suspended the game. He didn't cancel it or had to say start it over, you know what I mean? He didn't call the game. He suspended it. They picked it up the next night or 2 nights later when the rain had cleared out.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
It's a magical time to be a Philadelphia fan, and it just goes to show you this fan base deserves many, many more titles, many more. I just think they're going to have to wait a while before the next one.
What Philly sports team is going to win the next championship?
Ooh. I don't watch any sports.
I have no idea.
Yikes. What's the best Philly team?
Flyers.
Flyers.
The Eagles.
Sixers, obviously.
The 76ers.
Definitely the Eagles.
I think the average Philadelphia would tell you the Sixers are the closest to doing it. Oddly enough, I think it is the Phillies.
Like every other sports fan here in the Philadelphia region, I want to see our teams on top. If bringing friend Penn back to the pinnacle of the city does that for us, more power to William Penn.